Canadian cops levelling massive charge against India. So basically what the Canadian cops have to say, as per their investigation, is that India is allegedly using organised crime elements. The cops in Canada are saying that India is using the Bishnoi gang, the Lawrence Bishnoi gang, who we have heard specifically recently in the Baba Siddiqui case as well. But Canada is saying this, that Bishnoi gang is linked to Indian agents, that Indian agents are using the Bishnoi gang gangsters to target Canadian on Canadian soil. Now remember, the biggest question has always been about why wouldn't Canada want to take action against extremist criminal elements on its soil if their soil is being misused? Are they not realizing how this whole pro-Khalistan project has literally found a footing and shelter in Canada, and that hasn't been really, to say peaceful, to say the least.
It is targeting the South Asian community, but what we've seen is there's specific targeting of pro-Khalistan elements in Canada, or members of the pro-Khalistan movement. Just in order to preserve the integrity of the investigations that are being conducted by our police of jurisdiction partners, I won't be providing any further details in regards to the specificity of those investigations. But what we've seen is from an RCMP perspective, is the use of organized crime elements. And I will say and it's been publicly attributed and claimed by one organized crime group in particular, which is the Bishnoi group. So that's what we're seeing here in Canada. And we believe that that group is connected to agents of the government of India. Just in order to preserve the integrity of the investigations that are being conducted by our police of jurisdiction partners, I won't be providing any further details in regards to the specificity of those investigations. But what we've seen is from an RCMP perspective, is the use of organized crime elements. And I will say and it's been publicly attributed and claimed by one organized crime group in particular, which is the Bishnoi group. So that's what we're seeing here in Canada. And we believe that that group is connected to agents of the government of India.
Remember, huge. And if you talk to experts who have been studying this pro-Khalistan project, one thing is very clear. It isn't about Khalistan or the land, so to say, of the Khalsa or the Sikhs. Because interestingly, the pro-Khalistan project doesn't even focus on Pakistan, which in fact has helped in many ways tried to wipe out the identity of the Sikh community in the area that comes under Pakistan, Punjab. And that perhaps is a realization that that is the big issue of who is funding and sheltering these elements. Shashank Mattu, my colleague, is joining me for the latest on that. He closely tracks the Ministry of External Affairs. Shashank, good morning. What are you picking up about what has eventually led India to say, this is it, this cannot go any further, you're literally endangering the safety of our people there?
Absolutely. I think that the important thing from India's perspective is that for weeks and months and years, the Indian government has been telling the government of Canada, beseeching the government of Canada to fulfill its obligations under the Vienna Convention. It has talked about repeatedly that its diplomats are being targeted and threatened by pro-Khalistan elements. There have been incidents where Indian diplomats, including High Commissioner Sanjay Verma himself, have been put on posters. Violence has been threatened against them. Their addresses have been given out into the public as if a hit is being put out on them. And India has made very clear to the Canadian government that this sort of behavior is unacceptable. It expects the Canadian government to protect its diplomats. But what's happening instead is what the communication that came from Canada during a meeting from Canadian diplomats and Indian diplomats was that actually we now want to investigate your diplomats as part of a investigation.
Tracking the latest, because this is a big story and a lot of updates will be expected on that.